All right, in this video we're looking at the triangle angle sum theorem. So what the triangle angle sum theorem says is that the measure of the angles of the triangle is equal to 180. So if you add up all the measures of each angle in a triangle, it's always going to equal 180, no matter how big or small the triangle is. Okay, so that's an important thing to remember. In fact, if you leave geometry and not knowing this, then I have not done you justice. So the exterior angle theorem, and also a useful one, this is one that says an exterior angle, which is an angle that is where you extend a side. Okay, what it does, it forms a linear pair with the adjacent interior angle. So this angle right here would be the adjacent interior angle to angle 1. This angle 1 is the exterior angle. So an exterior angle is always equal to the sum of the two non-adjacent interior angles, which means in this case, measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3. So that gives us our total here. So measure of angle 1, the exterior angle is equal to the two non-adjacent interior angles. All right, so let's take a look at some examples here. And what you want to be doing is you're going to want to make sure you have a calculator handy so it's easy to work. So let's take a look here. We have two angles here, and we have our third. Now we can write this as we know that we can add them all up. So that means that angle 1 plus 24 plus 37 is equal to 180, which is extremely useful, but now we know we're going to add these two up. And so most of the time you're just going to probably do this in your head here. And so if we take these two and add them up, we get 24 plus 37. That's going to give us 61. Okay, so angle 1 plus 61 is equal to 180. This is just the algebra behind it. Subtract 61. And angle 1 is equal to, this is going to be 119. So our answer here is 119. Now, one other way to do this is to say that angle 1 is equal to 180 minus the sum of 24 plus 37. So you'll be doing a lot of these. So basically you're going to add these up, which still is the same process, and then subtract and gives us 119. Okay, so let's look at the next one here, number 2. So number 2 here we have an exterior angle. Well, remember exterior angle, the angle 1 is equal to the sum of the two non-adjacent interior angles. So this is 76 plus 52. And we're going to add these together. So angle 1 is going to equal 128. So 128 is our answer. All right, so next one here, we notice that they give us the exterior angle. We got two interior angles. So we know that angle 104, we don't need the angle symbol here. Let's take that away. We got angle 104 is equal to angle 1 plus 79. So we just need to subtract 79. And that tells us that angle 1 is equal to 25. So 25 is our answer. So at any time I would suggest you just pause the video, try some of these on your own, and come back and check your answers when you're done. So this one here, let's look here. Let's look at some different things. Now you don't always have to find angle 1, 2, and 3 in that order. You can find other angles in that order, in any order here. Sometimes you have information that allows you to find some easier. So if we look at angle 1 here, whoops, zoomed in too much. All right, so we have angle 1, we have 66, 84. We know two angles, we just need to find the third. So angle 1 is equal to 180 minus the sum of 66 minus 84, which is going to give us, angle 1 is going to equal 30 degrees. Okay, so we know angle 1 is 30. We'll plug that in here. We'll answer this over here. Now, the quickest way to find, we could find angle 2, but because 84 is the exterior angle for angle 2 and 43. One other way to look at angle 3 is, notice that these two form a straight line here, 84 and angle 3. So that means that they're a linear pair, which means they're going to equal 180. So what we can do here is we can say for angle 3 is equal to 180 minus 84. And so angle 3 is going to equal 96. So we can go ahead and find that right there and put 96 in here. Now the last step here, we know that we have two angles. we're going to find our third, so angle 2 is equal to 180 minus the sum of 96 plus 43. So you add those up, subtract it in your calculator. So angle 2 is going to equal 41. So 41 is our third angle here. So you can find those in different orders. It doesn't matter. Just make sure that you have all the information in order to find some of those. So let's take a look at number 5. Okay. So let's kind of look through and fill anything out we can. I know 43 is going to form a linear pair with angle 2. So I could do angle 2 equal to 180 minus 43, because angle 2 and 43 are going to equal 180. So if we subtract here, that's going to give us 137. So we're going to put this over here as 137. We can go ahead and write that in here, 137. Now, in angle 1 here, which is also easy, we know that this is a right angle, okay? So we have this is 90. We know this other angle is 43. So we can say that angle 1 is equal to 180 minus, we're going to add 90 plus 43. So angle 1 is going to give us 47 degrees. Now, another shortcut here, since these two are 90, we know the sum of a triangle is equal to 180. So if this is 90, that means that angle 1 and 43 have to equal 90. So what you can do is you can just say angle 1 is equal to 90 minus 43, and that's also going to give us 47 degrees. So that's the shortcut way, and it only works in a right triangle. And now we need our last one here for angle 3. We have two angles. We have 12 and 37, which means we can find angle 3 by just subtracting them, the sum of 12 plus 137. And that's going to give us angle 3 is equal to 31. All right, so let's take a look at number 5. We did that one. Let's look at number 6. So let's fill in anything we can here. One thing I can look at real quick, I recognize vertical angles with angle 2 and 61, which means that angle 2 has to be 61 degrees. So we know that this angle right here is 61 degrees. Now, one thing I can do here, I know that 61 and 68 will add up, plus angle 1 equals 180, so angle 1 is equal to 180 minus the sum of 61 plus 68. So we'll add those up, and that's going to give us that angle 1 is going to be 51 degrees. So we can plug that in here. We can add that up here if we need to. And then the last one here we know 61 is our angle 2. So for angle 3, we can use our shortcut since it's a right triangle, 90 minus 61, and that gives us that angle 3 is going to be 29 degrees. So that's a shortcut we can use that only works in right triangles. All right, so this one gives us a little bit different information here. Let's look. It says that BC bisects angle ACD. So ACD here, so if it's going to bisect it, okay, this is this ACD, so that means it's going to be, this is going to be the same as this. So angle 2 and 3 should be the same measure. Now, if you bisect a right angle, okay, if you take 90 and you divide it by 2, that's 45. So that means that both of these have to be 45. So 45 degrees is going to be our angle 1 and angle 2, or angle 2 and angle 3. So we put 45 here, 45 here. Now, we can, all we're missing here is angle 1 and angle 4. So we can find those by using our triangle angle sum theorem. So we're going to subtract the sum of 48 plus 45. And that's going to give us 87. So angle 1 is 87 degrees. And we do the same thing for angle 4. So angle 4 is equal to 180 minus the sum of 45 plus 83. Add those up, subtract from 180, and that's going to give us 52 degrees. So that's our answer for this one. All right. So I would encourage you to always try to fill out as much as you can that you recognize here. So this one here, let's go ahead and start with angle 1. We know it's going to be, we got two angles in the triangle, so it's 180 minus the sum of 41 plus 75, which gives us, let's see if we add these up, we get 16, subtract, and that's going to give us 64. Okay, so we get 64 for angle 1. Okay. Now, notice number 2, this is a little different. It's outside the triangle here, but it's not an exterior angle, okay, because it doesn't form a linear pair with the adjacent interior angle. But one thing I know is that if I go from here to here, that's a straight line. So this angle right here is going to equal to 180, which means that angle 1 plus angle 2 plus 90 degrees is equal to 180, equal that straight line. Now we know what angle 1 is. We know that's 64. So we can add that to our 90 plus angle 2 to equal 180. Now, add these up. That's going to give us 154 plus angle 2 equal to 180. Subtract it. Okay, and that's going to give us 26. Okay, so angle 2 is equal to 26. And our last one here we can do quick because it's a third angle of a right triangle, which means we can do 90 minus 54. That's going to give us angle 3 is 36. All right, so let's take a look at number 9. We got a bunch of angles in here. Let's see what we can figure out. Now that tells us that these are parallel, okay? So that's going to give us a little bit of additional information here. So we can pull in some of our special angle pairs from when we learned in our last unit here. Our alternate tier, could be same side interior. So let's take a look here. We know that because these are parallel, 1 and 3 are same side interior, which means they're going to equal 180. They're going to add up to equal 180. We know that 3 and 73 are going to equal 180 because they are a linear pair. Now, notice that 1 and 73 are going to be alternate tier angles, which means that this is going to be 73 as well. So we can use our alternate tier angles theorem to show that these are going to be the same. Now, to find angle 3 here, we'll do that one here first. Angle 3 is going to equal 180 minus 73. Okay. So angle 3 is going to be 107. So we can write that in here. Now, angle 1, 2, and 49 form a straight line, so that means that's a straight angle, so that means they're going to equal 180. So that means we have 2 of our angles here, so we can kind of work it just like we've done with our triangle angle sum theorem. So we're going to subtract the sum of 73 plus 49. And that's going to give us 58. So 58 degrees. And I put that 107 in the wrong spot. So this is 107. And this is 58. Okay, so we have 58 here. Now we have, we can do a couple different ways here. We notice that this line right here is a transversal, okay, which means that 49 and angle 4 would be alternate tier angles, which means that this alternate tier angles are congruent. So that means it's going to be 49. And then we can also show that, excuse me, 49 and angle 5 are going to equal 180 because they're a linear pair. So angle 5 is equal to 180 minus 49, which means that angle 5 is going to be 131. All right, so let's take a look at number 10. So let's go through here and find any missing angles here. In fact, pause your video right now and come back and try these 2 here and see how you do. All right, so let's take a look at number 10 and 11, see how you did. You can fill in all of them as much as possible here, so we can start here with, I know that, because I have a right triangle here with angle 3 and 52, so that means that 90 minus 52 gives me 38. From there, I know that angle 3 and 2 are going to add up to equal 90. Okay, it's not bisected, so it didn't say that, so they're not 45, so this means that these are just going to add up to 90. So we can do 90 minus 38, and that's going to give us 54 for angle 2. Then we can use that. We can go find, since we know angle 2, we can find angle 4, because angle 4 and 30 or 86 is a linear pair. So what we do is we just subtract 180 minus 86, and that gives us 94. So now we have two angles. We have angle 4 and 2. Just to find angle 1 now, we can add them up and subtract from 180, which is what gives us 34 for angle 1. And then angle 5, we have 30. It's going to add up with angle 1 to equal 90. So 90 minus 34 is going to give us 56. And the last one, angle 6, we have 52 minus 90, because those two will add up to equal 90, gives us 38. Then moving over to number 11 here. One thing I recognize right off the bat is my pair of vertical angles. So 71 and angle 2 are vertical angles, which means they're the same. So a lot of different ways you can do these guys. You can do them in any different order. So and like I said, there's multiple ways to do these. So for angle 1, we're going to do 180 minus 47 plus 71, because we have two angles in the triangle, and that gives us 62. Now, one thing we can recognize here, and I put it down here at the end, is that angle 1 and angle 8 are alternate tier angles, because remember, these lines right here mean, these arrows mean they're parallel. Okay, so therefore angle 8 is going to be the same thing as angle 1, which is 62. The same thing with 7 alternate tier angles here. Okay, 7 and 47 would be the same. So this is 47 alternate tier angles. Okay, we can do angle 5 by doing, because angle 2 and 5 form a linear pair. They also form a linear pair with 71 degrees. So 180 minus 71 gives us 109. And 5 and 3 are the same because they're vertical angles. So we know those two are the same. And then angle 6 we do from adding up 42 and 109 and subtract it from 180 to get 29. All right, so let's look at our number 12 here. So this has variables in it now. So it says solve for x and then find the measure of each angle. So one thing we know is that as we look at this using the triangle angle sum theorem, we know that angle D plus angle E plus angle F is equal to 180. So if I just substitute these values in expressions in 5x minus 2 plus E, which is going to be 9x plus 3, plus angle F, which is 11x minus 21, they're going to add up to equal 180. Okay, so we add these up here. We get our x's, 5x, 9x, and 11x. That gives us 25x. We add up negative 2, positive 3, and a negative 21 gives us a negative 20 equal to 180. So we're going to add 20 to both sides. 25x is equal to 160. Okay, and I subtracted and add. Be careful. Don't make the same mistake your teacher made. So we get 200 divided by 25, and x is equal to 8. Okay, so we put x over here as 8. So now we're just going to go back and plug in our expression. So we're going to get 5 times 8 minus 2. That's going to be 40 minus 2, which gives us 38. Okay, so angle D here, that means that angle D is 38. We got angle E, we got 9 times 8 plus 3. 72 plus 3 is 75, so this becomes 75 here for angle E. And then our last one here, we got 11 times 8 minus 21. That's going to be 88 minus 21, which is going to give us 67. So 67 is our solution. Okay, let's try number 13. Okay, so we have these two here. We got all three angles. We know that Q, P, and R are going to add to equal 180, so we're going to just do 4x minus 22 plus 10x minus 4 plus x plus 11 equals 180. So now we're going to combine like terms, so we're going to add them up. So 4 plus 10 plus 1, whoops. Not sure what happened there, so let's go back to that. So we get 14, 15x. And then we have negative 22, negative 4 gives us negative 26, and positive 11 gives us, what is that going to be, 15? So negative 15 here equals 180. So then we're going to add 15. So 15x is equal to 195 divided by 15. And x is equal to 13. So there's our first part here. Now it's a matter of going back and plugging everything in. So they say start with p, so we're going to do 10 times 13 minus 4. That's 130 minus 4, which is going to give us 126. And then we're going to do, was it q? So we're going to get 4 times 13 minus 22. Okay, that's going to, let's see, that's going to give us, what, 4 times 13, 52, that's what I was thinking. 52 minus 22 is going to give us 30. All right. And then our last one here would be angle R, which is going to be 13 plus 11. Okay, that's our x there. Anytime I substitute something in, I tend to put it inside parentheses in case the sign change has to happen. So 13 plus 11 gives us 24. All right, let's this one here. This one's a little different. Notice this is an exterior angle. So remember the exterior angle, 18x minus 15, is equal to the sum of the two non-adjacent interior angles. So this is going to be 13x minus 11 plus 4x plus 1. So now we have to combine over here. So this will just bring 18x minus 15 down. 13 and 4 is 17x. And negative 11 minus 1, or plus, negative 11 plus 1 is going to be a negative 10. Okay, so we're going to subtract off 17x over. Okay, we're going to add 15 the other side here. So this gives us x on the left. On the right, we get a positive 5, so that gives us our x equals 5. Now, we'll go back through here and plug it back in. So we're looking for angle CAB. So CAB is going to be 13x, which plug in our 5, 65 minus 11, and that's going to give us 54. So 54 goes there. The next one we're going to do is going to be angle ABC. So A to B to C, that's going to be 4x plus 1, so 4 times 5 plus 1, which gives me 20 plus 1, which is going to give me 21. The next one here is ACB, so starting at A, go to C, and go to B. And this one here, we don't have that one, okay? But we can find it because we know that this one, the first one, was 54. This one was 21, so we have these three here. We have two of them, so we can add them up, subtract from 180. So angle ACB is equal to 180 minus 54 plus 21. So angle ACB is going to be 105. Okay, because that comes up to be 75, subtract from 180 is 105. And that brings us to our last one here, DCB, which is our exterior angle, so 18 times 5 minus 15. And that's going to give us, what is it, 105 here, so that's going to be 75. All right. And then the last one's going to be similar to it. Okay, we have an exterior angle here. So we're going to have 9x minus 8 equal to 5x minus 27 plus 7x minus 32. 9x minus 8 equal to 12x. This is going to give us a negative, what, 59? Okay, so we're going to subtract 9x, bring our smaller x over. We're going to add the 59 to the other side. Okay, that gives us 51 equal to 3x, divide by 3, and x is equal to 17. So 17 is our x. So we're going to plug it in here. It says for JKL, so J to K to L is going to be the 7 times 17 minus 32. That's going to be 87 degrees. The next one we're looking for is KJL, so K to J to L, which is going to be the 5x minus 27, so that's 5 times 17 minus 27. We will calculate that, and that's going to give us 58. The next one here is KLJ. Okay, so KLJ is this third angle here, so we're going to do the same thing we did on the last one here. So angle KLJ is equal to 180 minus the two angles we had already, which remember we had 87 and 58. So it's going to add up these two, 87 plus 58. And so angle KLJ, do the math there, it's going to give us 35. And then our last one here is going to be 9 times 17 minus 8, and that's going to give us 145. Okay, so KLM is 145 degrees. All right, so that concludes our lesson.